All right, music fans, buckle up and welcome back. Harmless Dave here talking. Is it real music? It's music. It is. And it's in real time for a few real people out there, just like you and just like me. Here is some real music. If you're a soft rock person, a yacht rock person, I really hate the term yacht rock because it's a pejorative. When people tell me that, oh yeah, I even like yacht rock, I'm just like, the music that I was really into back like 1980, 1981, most of it was yacht rock by today's standards, most of it. All right. This album is superb. This is Quint Starkey, has a great name, Quint Starkey, and the album is called Quintessential. And if I were giving out Grammys, not old ladies, but actual awards, I would give one to Quint Starkey for Quintessential. Could be the album of the year. I don't know. I'm kind of a melodic rock person, but I'm also very drawn to music like this. I wasn't feeling well a couple weeks ago, and I put this on based on a recommendation, based on an algorithm, believe it or not. And holy crap, Batman, from start to finish, super well-written songs. Vocals are excellent. The production value, the whole thing. It's kind of like the Burt Bacharach type thing. Just amazing quality from start to finish. Quint Starkey and his album, Quintessential. Now, another album that is coming out, which I am going to be talking about here because apparently 2 songs are out there. Now, it's weird because the classic rock media industrial complex usually will send out notifications to me when an album like this is coming out because they've been talking about it incessantly because Dolly Parton was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I'm wondering if every rap group or every group that isn't in the rock and roll genre, I'm wondering when they're all going to come out with their rock albums. So they're not, obviously. Give credit to Dolly. I think her heart was in the right place. First of all, she said, I don't want to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And then they put her in there anyway. And so she's like, I'm recording a rock album. Okay, so this is a bunch of good publicity, right? Dolly Parton's rock album. She's 77 years old. She's showing off her legs still. I don't know, folks. A lot of this is just driving me crazy now. The first 2 songs, she does one song with Rob Halford from Judas Priest. Holy crap, Batman. And then she does a song with Ann Wilson from Heart. It's a cover of the song Magic Man. Now let's start with this song called Bygones, which she did with Rob Halford. First of all, out of the box, Dolly Parton cannot sing rock and roll. She can't do it. There's too much Appalachia in her voice. The Appalachian Mountains. I just hear her hillbilly side, and this is what I like about Dolly Parton, by the way. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's there, and no matter how robust her vocal is, how hard she tries, on the song with Rob Halford, Rob is like trying to dial it back from his usual scream. He's not screaming for vengeance. He's kind of whispering for sanity, maybe. And Dolly is trying to belt it out. So the 2 are trying to meet, somewhere. And the song itself is a little mediocre. And then it just doesn't work. The blend isn't there. This is not Robert Plant and Alison Krauss. Okay, this just isn't working. Besides, Robert Plant and Alison Krauss, they're still doing bluegrass or hillbilly music or whatever you want to call it. It's that Americana stuff. It's lighter and easier to sing. Dolly Parton's trying to get up there, and Rob Halford is going down. The song itself, I think it's a disaster, but you can go listen to it. You may say to yourself, well, she's singing well. Rob is singing well. What's your problem? My problem is it doesn't work. That's my problem. It doesn't work. There's no chemistry there. There's just two people from opposite ends of the spectrum, which a lot of people like nowadays. Are like, ooh, that blend between those two people that don't go together. That's incredible. I hear this all the time. People say, don't you like the blend? You mean the oil and the water mixing together? Do I like that blend? I mean, am I supposed... See, this is the thing. I'm supposed to like everything that's trendy. And if I don't like something that's trendy, people get on me for it all the time. Like, just, yell at the clouds again, old man. And I'm like, okay, I'll yell at the clouds. Clouds? Okay, so that's song number one. So it's Judas Priest meets Dolly Parton, okay? 9 to 5 meets You Got Another Thing Coming. It's not working. The other song she does is a song with Ann Wilson from Heart, right? And this song is Magic Man. So it's a cover. I don't know where Bygones comes from. It may be a cover or it may be an original. Someone, I'm sure, will educate me on that, look it up and so forth. I'm just listening to the music and telling you what I think. So, Magic Man. So, Dolly sings the opening lines to Magic Man, and I feel as though a cartoon version of the song has started. Again, the original song with a full-strength 100% Ann Wilson is like a blitzkrieg. And here again, we have the country girl who still sounds like the country girl singing her butt off, but still unable to get to a place that does the song any kind of justice because her voice just doesn't work on the song. Even though this is a song that is perfect for a female lead singer, obviously. So Ann Wilson comes in, tries to bail her out a little bit, and Ann Wilson does not sound like the Ann Wilson that we all grew up listening to. She just doesn't. Her voice is deeper, it's huskier, it doesn't have the same timbre that is needed on this track. And part of the problem is the tune has been on the radio for like 45 years or something to that effect, maybe longer. And we've heard it all a billion times. And so now you introduce this new version with these two ladies who are doing a duet, neither of whom capture the original spirit of the song. The production on both of these tracks is pretty good, but it doesn't rescue the song from the fact that Dolly is just not a rock singer. She's trying to be a rock star, but she's not a rock singer. And Ann Wilson, unfortunately, doesn't have enough gas in the tank to bail the song out. Is it interesting to listen to? I guess. Are there people that are going to say, you're wrong, this is great? See, I said this a couple days ago that the original version, I would say in about 80% of the cases that I've listened to a legitimately interesting cover version versus the original wins. It just does. There are certain things that you shouldn't even attempt. Most of the time when people do covers of like the Beatles, I cringe. I'm like, why? Don't do it. Don't do it. It's, again, some upstart orchestra somewhere that doesn't know how to play their instruments, and they're going in and they're going to cover Beethoven and Mozart, and they think they're going to get it right. Now, that may be a poor analogy because anybody can play a rock song, right? It's not that complicated. Or compared to an orchestra, it's not that complicated. Well, again, there are certain things that you should just leave alone. Beatles, vintage heart music, if you're not a rock singer. Look, there are singers that can definitely do Magic Man and do justice to it. It's just bizarre, though, that we are at this point where this is all we have to look forward to. Dolly Parton's rock album. It's a disaster. These two songs. Now, again, I've only heard 2 tracks. We're waiting, by the way, for the Steve Perry Dolly Parton duet. That is a slower song. And she's not crooning with somebody who's going to be belting out his part. I'm assuming Steve is probably going to try to keep it simple. Hopefully the song will be in the original key, but it may not be. Steve Perry, I think, did say that Dolly Parton can really sing. She was really belting that song out because obviously he had to lay down his vocal track next to hers. I mean, demos probably went back and forth. I don't think they actually were hanging out in the studio, although I could be wrong. But I'm thinking everything like between Ann Wilson and Dolly Parton was back and forth. Same thing with Rob Halford. I mean, this is how you record albums today with people who don't need to travel to the studio because of all the technology that's available. And you send the file out and then somebody mixes it with the file that you're creating on location. And lo and behold, you got yourself a song. Look, folks, you can go and listen to these 2 songs and judge for yourselves. I blame this on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. This really shouldn't have happened. And when is A Tribe Called Quest going to do their rock album? That's what I want to know. When are all these bands that aren't rock, when are they going to be doing their rock albums? I mean, it's only fair. I mean, Dolly, give her credit. At least she's saying, I'm now in this Hall of Fame, which says rock and roll on the front, and I'm admittedly a country star. That's why I go to the Grand Ole Opry and I hang out in Nashville or whatever Dolly Parton does these days. She isn't too bad on Christian radio with Zach Williams. I thought that was pretty good. It wasn't her primarily on lead vocals, but her voice added texture to the song. And Zach Williams is kind of a country guy to some degree. So again, I think you just have to stick with the genre that works for you. Now, the genre that works for me on this album apparently is soft rock or yacht rock, as everybody is calling it these days. If you hit me up with the whole yacht rock thing, I'm like Steve Lukather. Like, come on, man. I just played on great songs, great tracks. Is Steve Lukather the king of yacht rock? No, he's just a really good musician that played in a band that was somewhat classy and not derivative of everything else. And these guys were quality musicians, so much so that I think a bunch of them played on Thriller, one of the biggest albums of all time. And is Thriller a yacht rock album? Maybe in places. It's a pop album. It's whatever. It's R&B. I mean, good music is just good music, right? So check out Quint Starkey, Quintessential. If it's too mellow for you, I'll have other recommendations soon enough, but I'm really into this album, and I apologize for that. Also, folks, don't forget to check out Modern Retro Radio, modernretrofm.com. Great internet radio station, playing classic artists, but playing the new material. So you might hear the new Dolly Parton. You might hear it over on Modern Retro Radio since it's rock and roll. Yeah. So look, guys, if I'm the program director, I say no, but I get it. If you need some new tracks, you've got 2 and obviously more to come here. I'll definitely talk about the Steve Perry, Dolly Parton track when that drops. I'm sure that's going to be very interesting. And that's pretty much it. Don't forget to help me out over on Patreon. also YouTube memberships. I want to thank all the new patrons coming on board. And God bless you all, and God bless America. But more importantly, folks, God save America. I'll see you soon.